Welcome back to the channel where I go and actually review new streaming content to the streaming platforms. And today we're going to go and actually take a look at Waterfront on Netflix. Now, Waterfront is a show that borrows elements of Sopranos and Breaking Bad in its promotions and its synopsis. That's what it kind of feels like. Also, for me, I'm going to go and actually say this is almost like Dawson's Creek meets Ozark. That's how I feel about it. I've watched the first 2 episodes of the series, and I'm going to tell you if it's worth your time as a target audience. Hang out longer to go ahead and actually see if I know what I'm talking about. If you are a target audience member, and by target audience, I'm going to go ahead and actually say if you're a fan of family drama series or crime drama series, things of that nature, I'm going to go ahead and actually say that you watch the first 2 episodes of this particular series. Now, if you're a casual viewer and those aren't really your things, you normally don't really watch any of those such things, but you just want to know, is it worth my time checking out? I'm going to say watch the first episode of this particular series and see if it's your thing. Now, justification time. Let's see if I can do it.
I'm going to take control of things.
$10 million worth of cocaine and opiates.
You realize we've crossed a line. There's no coming back from this.
Don't have a meltdown right here in the mud.
Sorry.
Do not apologize. Jeez.
Waterfront is a crime drama that premiered on Netflix in June of 2025. It has 8 episodes in the first season that run about 50 minutes each. And it stars Holt McCallany as the patriarch of the family, Harlan Buckley. Now, he's a well-known character actor whose work and some things on there. And his latest work includes The Iron Claw, if you saw that, and then a reoccurring role on The Lincoln Lawyer. Also starring Maria Bello as the patriarch, Belle Buckley. Her latest work was on the series Beef and on NCIS. Melissa Benoist as Bree Buckley, and she's very famous of having played in both Glee and Supergirl in the CW. And then there's Jake Weary as Kane Buckley, and he's best known for his role as playing Duran Cody in Animal Kingdom. So there's your stars. Your synopsis is like this. As their storied North Carolina fishing empire decays, the damaged Buckleys grapple to revive their imperiled maritime heritage. Read something like that, you watch the trailer, and my perspective is that, family drama series, even kind of like in the element of being like crimes and things like that, they're just not interesting to me, honestly. I mean, I watched the first season of Breaking Bad and I thought it was a good series, not a great series. I think I watched maybe a couple episodes into the second episode or second season, and it just wasn't for me. But I could totally understand why people would like it. It has some compelling aspects to it and narratives and whatnot. But for me, the crime family drama thing is just not interesting. It's not something that I find interest in. I've watched a few more episodes of Sopranos than I have of like Breaking Bad. And even with the mafia angle, it made it a little bit more entertaining, but still wasn't ultimately for me. So I will go and actually tell you for this particular series, I'm a casual. I am not the target viewer here. I'm not the one that this is aimed for, what have you. The reason why I let you know that up front is that you should always know the perspective of your reviewer when taking into account recommendations that they give you. Okay? Now you got my bias on here. I'm a casual in this. If you like how that sounds, do me a favor, click like, share, subscribe. And now let's get into this. As far as like seeing if this is a really entertaining or boring type of story, I'm going to go and actually say this is somewhat entertaining. Considering, where I come from, my vantage point or what have you, it actually has some entertaining aspects of it. In the first episode, it was kind of like a decent watch because the opening scene was like a good pull in, like there was like some action and some intrigue there and things like that. And then the intro to the main 4 characters or the intro of the Buckley family, whatever, was solid, a little bit cliche and stuff like that, but decent thing on there. And in that first episode, there was like also an interrogation scene that was really good and had good tension to it, whatever. And I really like that. And another key component to anything that's on the streaming platforms is to make you binge watch, right? And so at the end of episode 1, there's a solid ending that makes you kind of want to get to episode 2 as long as you like what everything happened in episode 1. So strong start. In episode 2, it definitely goes into the deep end as far as the dramatics, the story, the relationships on the show, all that kind of good stuff. Really harkened me back, and shout out to Gen X, but it gave us kind of like that Dynasty Dallas type of feel to it. Melrose Place maybe for you millennials or what have you, but it's one of those types of things where you're just like, pretty decent, a lot of melodramatics, a lot of things going on, all that kind of stuff. There were some good one-liners in the script, so there was effort for the writers to go and actually put some things in there that kind of makes you think, or mic drop on some couple things on there. The ending of episode 2 is definitely a good lure to go into the next episode. Like if you like the series after 1 and definitely after 2, they'll have you hooked by 3 to pull you into the next episode, because there is definitely a binge-worthy cliffhanger there. At times, the pacing gets a little bit on my nerves in regards to the series, and just primarily because it slows down and paces on there and it gets on your nerves. So try to explain some things on there where you like, you could have did this in a different way or what have you. So that's a little bit frustrating. And I can see it being entertaining for like target audience members because it gets like messy and things like that, because that's what they like. For me, it was kind of like a notch below, but again, somewhat entertaining overall the way that this story is told. The way I looked at acting on this, I would go ahead and actually say it was pretty cool, but there were some misses. I was fine with most of the cast and characters. Sometimes you know where the characters are headed because there's a lot of trope aspects on this. But for me, the standout was Melissa Benoist. I liked her character, especially in the scenes of both her being a mother to her son and her being a daughter to her mother. Because in both of those, you can just see that she just played those roles really well, and I like that. Conversely, the Jack Weary's character that's supposed to be playing her brother, and this just did not impress me. Like, his portrayal doesn't vibe with me. I didn't like it. It just, something about his character just is kind of grating or what have you. Overall, I think the casting is decent. There was a few good moments in there, and I think you have a good veteran cast that can go and actually make things work for the most part. And that's why I say, it's pretty cool. The acting is pretty cool, but a few hits and misses, mostly around Jake Weary's character. Overall, I will go ahead and actually say, set on like a beach marina type of thing in South Carolina is something different, just different vibe, different aspects of it. There's also a double date episode that happens in episode 2 that either you're going to find it like really fun and messy, or totally awkward and cringeworthy. I'm not sure which I saw this a few days ago and I still haven't decided which one it is for me, but that could go either way as far as target audience members or casual viewers, but I just know that it exists and it's something to behold. Something that kind of detracts from this is kind of like seeing the rich or wealthy justify them holding on to their wealth by committing crimes. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that kind of draws from this particular series, is that whole thing of like justifying doing what you got to do to go ahead and actually retain your wealth. If it was to just like make it and survive, different. Like, a show like Shameless, they're just trying to hang on. That's trailer park trash, and they just trying to hang on, do all this kind of stuff or what have you. But when you have affluence, when you have privilege or what have you, and then you're trying anything to go and actually hang on to it's kind of crazy. Now, I won't spoil anything because there is a nuance wrinkle to how they got that wealth or what have you, but it still doesn't go and actually justify the overall premise of it for me. So that's what kind of distracts from it overall. But if I'm just going to go ahead and actually be real about it, this is a somewhat entertaining series. It really is. There's a solid cast in place. Even if it's a formulaic premise, it still has some things that go and actually shine on. There's a couple wrinkles here and there to kind of go ahead and actually make it a little bit more entertaining, intriguing. There's a decent script. Like I told you, there's some one-liners in there that you get like, okay, you got them on that one. I'm not sure if this is going to deliver something different at the end of it, like watching this first season or anything like that. If it's going down a road that you'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming or anything like that. Because I feel like we've seen whatever is going to go ahead and actually end through. But I could go ahead and actually justify to a casual viewer to go ahead and actually give it a 1 episode watch pretty easily. Just as a casual viewer, I think that's very much easy for that to happen. For target audience members, I think the strife of holding on to a bit of power and wealth can be intriguing. The setting is very much unique, and the actors are giving it a good go. And especially if you like Melissa Benoist, I think she goes ahead and actually does a lot in here to go ahead and actually move her character and make her character a likable or despisable character, depending upon your perspective on there. I think 2 episodes are good for target audience members because the ending of the second episode promises to really kick up the story. And if you vibe with these characters, you're going to be ready to go. So that's what I have for Waterfront. That's showing on Netflix right now. So check it out.
Ego. Power. It's hard to find your way back.
Appreciate you staying on the entire time with my review. Now, you know the deal. If you stay here this amount of time, you might as well go and click the like. Now, if you want to spam out for me a little bit, kind of help me out a little bit, go ahead and hit that share button. The other aspect of it you have is to go ahead and actually stay subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 500. We're not that far from it. 500 be half of 1,000. Could you imagine that? That's crazy. You know, go ahead and actually click one of these other reviews right here. The algorithm thinks that you might like this video right here next to me. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.
Now that's a happy ending. Or is it? Because everything's over now. And all that's left is you and the infinite void.